Good day, I am Kelsey Salazar, and I will be discussing about the proposed Management Information Systems, which is aimed to furtherly improve the current processes of the organization DM Consunji Incorporated, or DMCI, in the aspects of supplier evaluation and record collation. Supplier evaluation plays a crucial role for businesses, as this is a variable which can greatly affect the success of one project, whether it be on the aspect of the delivery or the quality of the project that is being done. The proposed system will provide the project leads an accessible way to gather information regarding suppliers and products alike and be able to provide feedback on such. The Online Supplier and Feedback Management System is an MIS that aims to provide the users a centralized database wherein they can gather information about suppliers and products and be able to provide feedback on them as well. The system will also provide a report section which will cater the organizational needs for the data that are needed for supplier evaluation. Having said all of that, let us now proceed with the discussion.
First, let us take a look at the company background of DMCI. DMCI is a company engaged in general construction services, production and trading of concrete products, and electrical and foundation works. It was founded by engineer David Mendoza Consunji, a civil engineering graduate from the University of the Philippines, and initially started on the industry by building chicken coops. The organization focuses on becoming a world-class company in the construction industry and integrates values concerning internal teamwork and good customer relationships along the way. As time went by, DMCI became known as an innovator in the construction industry and was regarded for the quality of the infrastructures the organization has built, as well as quick completion of projects. Following this, the organization was witnessing its own expansions, including catering to overseas clients and governments. For the organization to effectively consolidate all business components that cater to construction, it became a part of the MCI Holdings Incorporated in 1995 and has since then maintained a reputable position in the market. In order to clearly identify the problems concerning supplier evaluation, let us first evaluate the current processes that the MCI employs and the situation that the organization is currently in. The MCI excels in its industry by integrating new technologies and engineering practices, gaining it a reputable position in the market. The organization also has ISO certifications, which further builds trusts with its investors. Pain points, however, include the unmaximized investments on technological assets, a lack of a centralized address book for suppliers and contacts per project, and insufficiency with regards to project leads training. These weaknesses contribute to current situations that development companies usually face, which include project delays and budget misallocation. Opportunities, on the other hand, are quite numerous for development companies such as DMCI. These would include the rise in infrastructure projects being done, as well as the increasing demands for residency and condominiums on urbanized cities. Recent industrializations of remote areas as well play a big role in the construction industry nowadays. Lastly, concerns regarding environment are now being considered as threats for the organization due to the industrializations done on forested areas. Additionally, delays on and caused by projects have become issues as well. As mentioned previously, supplier evaluation is crucial for every business as it can determine how or when a project will be completed, wherein quality of products and services have major roles. Delay in the delivery or a mismatch of the company's needs and the supplier's items could impact the business negatively. Currently, the MCI allows project managers and head office engineers to select suppliers for assigned projects with liberty. Once projects are done, feedback forms containing supplier information and feedback are submitted to the organization's procurement department for collation and archiving. Problems arise with supplier evaluation since suppliers have different natures with regards to their businesses, as some suppliers can be focused on waterworks while others on infrastructure. First-time project leads in particular are affected by this concern due to lack of prior knowledge with regards to suppliers, giving way to increased risks of the projects being delayed from the targeted completion date. After getting familiarized with the evaluation of the MCI's current processes with regards to supplier evaluation, let us now move on to determining the organization's problems and their nature. First, project delay risks related to supplier services are on the rise due to the absence of a central database for supplier records, making project leads susceptible to choosing the wrong supplier for the project. Submitted Excel files containing supplier information and and feedback on them are minimally communicated on other project leads as well, making it difficult to determine which suppliers underperform and which do not. Supplier evaluation also could cause delay on the project as reports regarding suppliers are generated manually through the Excel files that have been previously submitted. In order to solve the problems presented earlier, projects which aim to minimize the risks of project delays have been identified. The projects are mostly inclined on the technological aspects and also aims to ensure that technological assets are well utilized and maximized. For the first project, hardware upgrades could be seen as a viable stepping stone for DMCI towards maximization of technological investments. DMCI currently has existing hardware assets, however, these assets are considered outdated when compared with other companies, whether in the same or different industry. Also, slow computing time of computers could contribute to delayed services within the organization even on a minimal scale. Moving on to the second project, the development of a web-based information systems. With the said project, the organization will have a system capable of storing supplier records along with reviews submitted by project leads. These reviews are then made visible to the said leads to ensure that information can circulate well within the company, solving the issue of transparency with relation to feedback and supplier information. After we have discussed about the projects that could be implemented, we now sort them according to prioritization. Now, given that the organization does not have an information system nor a database on suppliers and still has available hardware assets that are functional, the project for the development of a web information systems would be given the priority. Having said that, to fully gauge the scope of the proposed system, it is necessary to first analyze the flow of data on the current system and pattern the new one on it to minimize revisions in internal processes. Here is a view of the current process. Project leads select suppliers on their own, and once the project is done, feedback is submitted. Supplier requirements are submitted by the suppliers themselves, making the processes lengthier. For the proposed system, the processes are patterned to that of the current setup and will be having displayed the flow. The project leads are able to add reviews on suppliers and products that they wish to do so, as well as view their contact and other necessary information. The procurement department, on the other hand, would focus on user and supplier information management as well as report generation. Additionally, the concept of the proposed system's user interface will be as shown. The procurement department will be able to access pages concerning users, suppliers, and product management, as well as reports that are usually needed during supplier evaluation, therefore decreasing the preparation time for it. The project leads are divided into two kinds of access: the head office engineers and project managers. Both users have most of the accesses equally, aside from the approval of reviews, which is only given to the project managers. This is done to ensure that all reviews are validated by superiors prior to publication. Moving on, to accurately define the timelines that will be used in implementing the proposed system, a Gantt chart is made to point out key activities and milestones in a specific period. The project will run for a maximum estimate of 4 months. The first quarter will be allotted to the planning stages of the project in order to fully determine the needs of the organization. This would include a deeper analysis of the current system as well as interviews with the stakeholders of the organization. The second and third quarters, as depicted on the chart, will be focused on the development proper of the proposed system. Both has the longest durations out of all the other sections to ensure that the solution perfectly fits the organization's current processes. It also includes documentation on the development done in order for the system to be well maintained even after implementation. On the last quarter of the project, efforts will be focused on testing to ensure that the released version will have minimal bugs as possible and prevent security breaches. It is also within this quarter that trainings will be conducted in order to provide the stakeholders a hands-on experience using the systems and gather feedback as well for future improvements. Once the deployment on live servers is done, post-implementation maintenance would be done at least once a month to guarantee that the technology used is updated and impenetrable as possible. To follow trends and guarantee support from the developer community base and to avoid deadlocks during development, the proposed system will be developed mainly on the PHP programming language along with JavaScript. The database to be used is MySQL as a standard and the local web server engine is XAMPP. Once ready for deployment, The system will be uploaded on a secure hosting service capable of efficiently managing a load of at least 300 visitors a day. The preferred operating system of the hosting service would be Linux, along with Apache 2 as the web server engine. That would be all for this presentation. Thank you for listening and hope you have a great day ahead.